today I have a special craft and chat for us. I don't know if you noticed, if you follow my page, yesterday we released our newest canvas set for our Welcome Home seasonal display. Okay. And yeah, this year we're going to kind of branch out a little bit with some of our canvas sets. And so we decided to do one for a couple of upcoming holidays, one being Valentine's Day and the other being St. Patrick's Day. It just seemed like a good pairing. So this canvas set is called So Loved and So Lucky. So Loved and So Lucky. And for those of you that aren't familiar, if you're not familiar with what this is, I'm going to share my screen really quickly so I can show you. I'm actually coming to you live from my home studio today. So I'm going to add, let's see if there it goes. Okay. I'm going to pop this up here for you to see. This is the Welcome Home seasonal canvas display. It is a beautiful house. It's a shiplap house. When you purchase that, you will receive a video link on how to do the paint technique that's on it. It does come with the beautiful vintage looking hardware. It comes with the vintage knob and then the knob plate and also the handle. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. And then we create throughout the year, we create these canvas sets that can easily be switched out. They just hang on the display. They can easily be switched out throughout the year for different seasons, for different holidays, all of that stuff. Okay. Yes. So fun. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if I'm coming in. Okay. Now, some of you may already have the house display. Okay. If you do have the house display, then we have this set up two different ways where you can just order the canvas set, just the two canvases. They're sold as a set, or you can order the whole shebang. Okay. You can order the whole shebang. Oh, yes, you can barely hear me. Okay. Let me turn up my volume. Okay. How about that? Is that better? Does that sound better? Okay. I hope that sounds better to you. I turned up the volume. Okay, good. Okay, good. So we do sell this as two different options. If you've already started the series with us and you have your home display, you can just order just the canvas set only. Okay, just the canvas set only. If you haven't started this, it is a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful project. And what I love about it is you can put it out in your home, put it on display in your home. And it gets to stay out all year long. And then you're just making the things that you can display on it and easily switching those out. Okay. Yes, I think it's so cute. So during today's craft and chat, I'm going to make the canvases. I'm going to make the canvases. I want you to see how easy they are to create. And this way you'll have, we'll save this video link for you. It'll be posted on my YouTube channel, and then it will also be attached so that when you make your purchases that you'll get the link for the video. So when you actually do get your kit in the mail, you can go back and watch the replay so that you know exactly what to do to make it. Okay. Now, that being said, a lot of you ordered yesterday. My team is working so hard to get as many orders out today as they possibly can. Monday for us is a federal holiday. For everyone is a federal holiday. I don't believe mail is going to run that day. Plus, I think that's going to be our day that we may have some road closures. We don't really know. It just depends if we get wintry mix or not. You have to remember, those of us that live in Texas, we don't know how to handle the roads. We don't have all of the capacity. We don't have the structure set up to handle these kinds of conditions because they so rarely happen. So we're going to get out as many as we can. And then because of the holiday on Monday and the impending possible weather issues, the rest will go out on Tuesday. Okay, I would think, unless something crazy happens with the weather. All right. So yeah, they've been working really hard to get as many of them out as they possibly can. All right. So this is what the kit will look like when it comes to you. It's going to say welcome home. So Loved, So Lucky Canvas Display. This is one of our DIY decor kits. So anyone can purchase this kit. It isn't restricted to any of our clubs or creative communities. This is for anyone. And would be such a great way for some of you to kind of get a little taste of napkin art and see how you like it. And if you do like it, I'm going to encourage you to go get on our wait list for our Napkin Club. We have a Napkin Club where I kind of hand pick, hand curate a beautiful variety of napkins that we mail to you every single month. We put you in a private Facebook group with me. I go live every week and I show you different things that we can make from those napkins. And you learn a lot of tips, a lot of techniques. It's really a lot of fun. Okay. So you're going to get a little taste of this. Cheryl McCarson is here with me today. Let me wet my throat. I'm still dealing with this kind of tickle in my throat from just congestion and drainage and all that fun stuff. So Cheryl McCarson is with me today, and she's been posting links here. So if you need a link or you didn't see a link, go ahead and just post that in the comments. She'll make sure that you get what you need. And I'm going to show you the other supplies you're going to need to create this kit. So in the kit is going to be, let me just kind of open this up, is going to be 2 6-inch canvases. Okay, 2 6-inch canvases. Whoop, there's some goodies in here. All right, so 2 6-inch canvases. You're also going to receive the napkin, the full napkin for the beautiful hearts. It looks like a little heart garden. Isn't it cute? All the little hearts in bloom. I thought it was just so adorable. And then also you're going to receive the napkin for the beautiful shamrocks or clovers, whatever you call them. So cute. You're going to receive a full napkin for these as well. So you're going to have some extra napkin to play with that you can use for whatever you'd like. The other thing in your bag is going to be a few little wooden goodies. Okay. So in this bag is going to be 2 wooden hearts. I'm sorry, not hearts. These are tags, 2 wooden tags. And a whole bunch of these little wooden confetti hearts. They're all wood. They're little wooden confetti hearts. And we're going to kind of decorate with these little wooden hearts on these canvases. It's going to be super cute. The other thing you're going to have in your kit is going to be what I'll call it a fiber bag, but it is going to be some beautiful sparkle gold tulle and also some black and red and white baker's twine. Okay, so this will be for both of the kits. And then I created these little tags for us to use. Sometimes you can't find a piece of napkin art or something that says what you really want it to say. And I really wanted these to say so loved and so lucky. And so I kind of designed these little tags. We just printed them out on cardstock. We're going to be cutting these out and actually attaching them to the wood pieces. And you're going to see all of that happen today. So that will be in there also. So it's just an adorable kit. You get all these little goodies. And then here are the items that you will need. Okay, here are the items that you will need. These napkins are not in the Napkin Club. Wendy, if that's your question, these napkins are different than the ones that are in the Napkin Club. Okay, so one of the things you're going to need is going to be Mod Podge, and I prefer to use Mod Podge Matte, which is the yellow label. I like that for applying napkins to canvas. It just, to me, is just perfect for that. This works best. So Mod Podge Matte. The other thing I'm going to be using is some stickles. I want to use some stickles to add some sparkle. This color is called Crystal. This is Crystal. We do have a couple other colors that would be just as beautiful, Diamond and Unicorn, but I'm using Crystal today. And then to add some beautiful gold metallic accents, I am going to be using this gold Krylon. It works kind of like a paint marker. This gold Krylon pen, it's just absolutely beautiful. If you already have a gold metallic paint pen in your stash, you could use that. If you have your Krylon pen, you can use that. The other thing you could use if you want is if you have a gold metallic paint. You could also use that. Okay, but I'm going to be using my Krylon pen for this. I have a brush I'll be using, and then I also like, because our canvas surface is smooth, I like to use these plastic plastic sheets. Now, this is what I use. They're deli bakery sheets. They're in my Amazon storefront if you're interested in using what I use. However, you probably have something in your kitchen that will work for this. Any kind of plastic wrap will work. Okay. You could even cut apart a sandwich baggie if you want to and use that as your plastic. Okay. All right, I think that covers all of it. So I'm ready to get started. What about you? Who wants to get started on this project? Again, let me just show this to you really quickly. These are made to go on top of our beautiful Welcome Home seasonal display. So if this is brand new to you, we sell it two ways. You can order it with the house and everything. And then in the future, you just buy the canvas sets. If you already have the house, then all you have to do is buy the canvas set only. We have two different links so you can shop it two different ways. Okay. Yes, it is so beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm ready to get started. There's no paint on this project. How about that? No paint because our canvases are already white and I wanted to leave them just this really pure, pristine white. It looks really pretty with these particular napkins. Hi, Leslie. Hello. Good to see you guys watching today. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. All right. So we're going to kind of do these as a set. It just works better. I kind of use the same techniques on them. So we're going to just start working on them. So we're going to basically be working on both canvases at the same time. It is really super cute, Lynn. Thank you for ordering. I appreciate that. What canvas sets will be coming next, in case you're curious? It will be spring and Easter. And Easter's early this year. Easter is March. Is it March 30th? It's in March. It's March 30th or 31st, somewhere right in there. So we'll be releasing our spring and Easter set probably around mid-February, somewhere right in there. Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. Good, Amy. I'm glad you got to catch a live. That's awesome. All right. So we're going to put the tag stuff away, all the stuff in the little bags. We're just going to kind of put that away for a moment. We're just going to work with our canvases and our napkins to start. So I'm going to change my screen so that you can get a really good shot here. Easter's March 31st, Cheryl says, and I trust what Cheryl says. So yeah, it's a little earlier than usual. All right, so let me switch my screen. There we go. Okay, so now I think you can see this pretty well. There, I think that'll work. So I'm going to put this napkin up here. I'm going to put this napkin up here. And I've got a little dish here that I'm going to be pouring out some of my Mod Podge on and just a brush to work with this. And then my plastic wraps or plastic sheets over here. So let's take a look at this one first. Like I said, you're going to get an entire napkin. So you're going to have some leftover napkin, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice if you ever have a boo-boo, right? An oopsie. That can happen sometimes. So I'm going to cut this napkin exactly in half. You feel free to use the rest of the napkin for whatever you want. Be so cute on, I don't know, all kinds of projects. See something really cute out of that. In fact, I'm going to make something out of my leftover, but not today. Today, we're going to make our canvas sets. Okay, so let's just take a look at how this one is going to fit. Now, I want you to see that when you open this up, do you see how it's continuous? That it doesn't like cut off, which is great for us. So because we're going to have this little tag kind of hanging on, I'm going to actually kind of position mine where this large heart right here is kind of, I'm going to position it about like this. Okay, now you can move yours around however you want. The reason I'm doing mine like this is this little tag is going to hang kind of like that. So I'm kind of creating a little bit of space here for that to hang. Okay, so I'm thinking that this looks good. So I'm going to come in and cut off a little portion of this. Don't need that. And whatever else I have on the edges here, I'll wind up just sanding those off. And this part, I'm just going to wrap this part down to the bottom. So notice that I have the edge of my napkin right here at the edge of the canvas. So let's go ahead and do this one. Now, to remove the plies of your canvas, there's a couple different things that I do. Okay, let me go back to this screen for a second. I do what's called a lick and stick method because my fingers are always with me. They're my fingers. It's my DNA. This is what I do. I just tap my fingers together and I press on this and voila, it just pulls apart. This particular napkin only has one ply. So you only have to take off one ply. Now, when we get ready to do the shamrock napkin, I'm going to show you a different way to separate your napkin. Okay. All right, let's go back to our big screen. Hi, Pat. I'm glad you caught us. That's awesome. Thank you, Kathy, for ordering. That's wonderful. Thank you. What brush am I using? This is just a normal paintbrush. I'm not a big fan of using the foam brushes because they have a tendency to kind of disintegrate and I get little black specks on my projects. And I really like using, this is like a 1-inch brush. So just a 1-inch brush, and you can see I have different ones, different kinds, but I like kind of the broad brush because it just makes it faster to put on my Mod Podge. Okay, so again, I'm using Mod Podge Matte. That is the Mod Podge in the yellow label. That has the yellow label. Has a really nice kind of satin finish to it. So I really like it, and it works great with my napkin art. Okay, so let's start here. We're going to start on the top, and we're going to put on what I call a healthy coat. We're just going to put a quick healthy coat of Mod Podge over the top. We don't want to miss any sections. Make sure you don't miss any little spaces. And the way you can tell it's a healthy coat is if you look at it in the light, it should look nice and wet everywhere. If you see any dry spots, we need to go back and we need to add that in. So I think you can kind of tell in the lights here, this is very nice and very wet, but still even, right? Not real gloppy. Okay, so remember, it's this red heart right here. So I don't really want it in the center. I want it kind of to the side. So I'm going to kind of drag my napkin down. This will kind of run right here at the top edge. Okay, and I'm just kind of laying it in place. So the first place I'm going to work with is just going to be the top. Don't worry about the sides right now. And I'm going to lay down my plastic wrap, and then I'm going to start smoothing. I like to kind of start in the middle and then just kind of smooth. And then I kind of work my way out to the outside edges. So I kind of start in the middle, and now I'm just working my way to the outside edges. This plastic wrap method is the best way to get the smoothest look from your napkin. Now keep in mind the canvas does have some texture on it. And I'm actually a fan of texture, so I'm okay if I get a little texture here and there. But this is going to be the smoothest, a really nice smooth look. Okay, so again, we're just going to smooth all of that down. Okay, real simple. You're going to see, you may see some of the Mod Podge start to seep up through the napkin. That's actually a good thing. We actually want that, and you'll see that as I lift this off, you're going to see the Mod Podge come up through the plastic wrap. That's a good thing. Now we're going to put this plastic wrap to the side because we can use it again, but not until that Mod Podge dries. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. I just want you to kind of see what I'm doing. I'm kind of holding it with the frame here. And I'm going to go ahead now. And I want to wrap these hearts around the side. I just think they're really cute. So I'm going to just wrap this to the side. You don't have to wrap it all the way to the back. I'm taking another piece of plastic here, and I'm going to smooth that down. Really simple. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the other side where the other hearts are, not the bottom yet. And again, applying some Mod Podge along the edge, the side of the canvas here. And I'm going to lay this down. I'm not wrapping it to the back, just laying it down. I'm going to use another portion of my plastic wrap here, again, to just smooth this down. And we're going to take that off. Now we're going to go to the bottom. So the bottom of this, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's get the Mod Podge on here first. I don't want you to worry about these corners. I'm going to show you what I do. Really simple. Okay, I'm just going to smooth this part down. Now watch what happens. That's going to give us this little kind of like this little wing over here. And I just press it together. We're just going to wind up cutting that off. So again, let me use a part of my plastic wrap that I haven't used yet and smooth that down. All right. So again, we're going to wind up with these little wings. We're going to cut those off, but not before we've dried this. Okay. So I want to dry the sides and the top. We want to make sure that this is dry before we sand anything off or cut anything off. Because when the napkin is wet, it's at its most fragile. And that means it could possibly tear. And I'm just using my heat tool to do this. You don't have to use a heat tool. This just speeds up the time, speeds it up. Just speeding it up since I'm live with you. You could just let it sit and dry. It won't take long. Okay, let's kind of feel the top. I just want to feel the top and make sure everything feels good, and it does. So the next thing we're going to do is you could either take a little piece of sandpaper, or if you have like a foam sanding block, or maybe you have a, little sanding file, you could use that too. But you guys, this is really easy to sand off because it's just that thin tissue. Okay, so I'm just going to sand off the excess here. And I think I had a little bit of excess right up here. Let me sand that little bit off. Okay, and all I have left are these little wings, right? These little wings. And so I'm just going to take my scissors and trim those off. And then when I put my top coat on, it just secures all of that really well. Okay, you can kind of take your fingers and press down, but that is how I do that if I'm going to wrap a canvas. Okay, now the next thing we need to do to this is we do need to put a top coat on it. This is really important because we're going to do pen work on this canvas. We're going to add stickles to this canvas, and so if I add the pen work and the napkin has not been sealed, the napkin tries to absorb the ink. So we're going to come in, and it's super easy to seal this. We're just putting on a thin coat of Mod Podge over all the parts, all the front, the sides, the top, the bottom. It's going to protect. It's doing a couple things for us. First off, it's protecting the napkin. Remember, this is just that little bit of tissue. This is going to protect it if you need to clean it off, or if you have little grandkids like me that sometimes have Cheeto fingers and they love to touch all the things. So yeah, we're going to seal the napkin. That's going to protect the napkin. And then the other thing it's doing, that's by sealing it, it allows us to do fun, artsy things to the napkin without the napkin trying to absorb. Okay. Yes, we're going to use Pit pens. Absolutely, Pat. I'm so glad you got them in the mail because they are fabulous. They're awesome for doing pin work on napkin art. Okay, so now I'm just going to set this one to the side. This one's going to sit to the side to dry. And we're going to work on this one. So let's just kind of put this one over here. Now this napkin is a little different because it is what we call a guest towel napkin. So it's bigger. It's bigger. I'm going to go ahead and just cut it in half. You're going to have lots of fun shamrocks and hearts with your extra pieces of napkin that you can napkinize other things with, or make cards, or I mean, you can use napkins on all kinds of things incorporated in your paper crafting or other fun DIY things. So when I open this up, I've got a lot. I've got a whole little field here of shamrocks. And so again, I have to think about, okay, where is that little tag going to go? So I decided to kind of pull mine kind of over to this edge, kind of right in here. So I'm bringing this one is going to go up kind of high. All right. And do you see I'm going to have extra napkin down here that I'll put to the bottom. I have it's just because of the size of the napkin is different. And then my tag will lay here. So my tag will cover up quite a bit of this shamrock, but I still think it's going to work out just fine. All right. So it's going to look something like this. Okay. This is kind of the area that I plan to use. So let's turn this over while it's sitting here. I can go ahead and cut off some of this excess just to make it a little easier to work with. Less to have to sand off. Okay, now on this napkin, I wanted to show you a different way. So if you try the lick and stick method and that's not working for you, here's the other thing that you can do. It's super simple and it works great. I'm going to actually just take my finger and I'm just going to dip it into a tiny little bit of the Mod Podge, not much, just a little dot of the Mod Podge here. And I'm just going to tap my fingers together. I don't want it to feel gluey. I want it to feel sticky. So when it starts to feel sticky, then you can come over and do the exact same thing to get your plies off. Now watch, this napkin actually has 3 plies. So we need to not only take off one, we need to take off the second one, okay? So the heart napkin, there's only 1 ply to remove. The shamrock or the clover napkin, there's 2 to remove, okay? Yes, it is a great size for like candles or lanterns or things like that, things you want to go around. It's really nice for those. All right, so we're going to go back to putting this one on. Let me switch the screen again here. And same method. We're just going to have a little bit more napkin than we had with the heart napkin just because of the size. All right, so again, we want to make sure that everything gets covered. We don't want any dry spots. So we're going to look really carefully around here. All right, and let's put on our shamrock napkins. So again, I kind of start from the top and I kind of drag down. So I think this is about where I want to be. I'm going to have this one kind of up high over here. There we go. Okay, so this is where I'm going to put this. All right. So I'm going to go back to my plastic wrap. And I'm going to start again kind of in the middle. I kind of like to go in the middle. And then as that smooths out, I start working outward. I love these napkins. I was really pleased. I was so happy to find them. And it's fun when I can find, just the right thing. And, it's sometimes we have to get extra creative. That's why I had to make the tags, because I really wanted them to say something specific. So this is also going to be a great lesson to those of you that do napkin art, that we can add words and we can add sentiments or sayings in different ways. If they don't come on the napkin, that doesn't mean we can't do something creative, maybe by adding it onto a tag, using a printable, printing it on paper, or printing it on gift tissue. Those are things that we do in the Napkin Club that are really fun to do to add things to our napkin art. Okay, I'm feeling good about the top. Let's gently pull this down because all that Mod Podge has seeped up. So let's put that one to the side. And now I'm gonna hold this. Now this time, if I want to, I could just sand this off. This is just white. If it's easier for you and you just want to put it down, it's just going to blend in with the canvas. So it's really not going to matter. I'm going to start over here on my sides first. Okay, so this is kind of the wraparound sides. Okay. No, these two napkins are not in the napkin bundles. You guys, I have to order the products for the napkin bundles so far ahead, and I have to have so many because we have quite a large membership. A lot of people addicted to napkins, just like me. And so I have to, for these, I have to order them on their own for these kits because we don't need near as many as we would need in the Napkin Club. And like I said, this is just such a great way for those of you that haven't done any kind of napkin art before to get a taste for it. Get to try it out. Because this is just barely skimming the surface. This is like Napkin Art 101. There's so much else that we can do. So fun. All right, I'm just smoothing just like I did before. And now I'm going to come down here to the bottom. All right, and I'm just pulling this down. Again, just going to kind of tap my plastic wrap on. Now remember, this is going to create those little wings. And the other part of this, I'll just sand off. So here are the little wings. You can kind of press them with your fingers. So that'll be the part that gets cut off. This will get sanded off. And I think just because I'm just going to go ahead and just Mod Podge this side down too. Oops. And just press that down. Our little wings. Okay, so what's next? If you remember what's next, it's going to be drying. Okay. What we do, Heidi, this is what we do. If we use these napkins in a kit like this, we get all of our orders complete, and any extra napkins that we have, we do offer those in the Napkin Club. But it'll be a little while before we do that because we'll sell through whatever kits we're going to sell through. And then, like I said, if we have any extras, then we'll put them in the Napkin Club has a private shopping page so that they can shop off the extras of the napkins that they get every month if they want extras or anything we have additional left from kits. All right, see how pretty that is on the white background? We didn't have to paint a thing. Looks so good. I love it. All right, so now then it's nice and dry. You want to make sure and feel of it. Mine feels good and dry. I'm going to go ahead now and come in and just sand off the plies or the excess. We'll cut off those little wings here in a minute. Make sure and dry it before you sand it. And then you'll be all set. Okay, let's go in now with my scissors. I'm just going to cut these Little wings off really, really close to the corner of the canvas. Okay, let me kind of clean up my area right here. And then we're going to put our top coat on. Okay, and again, why are we putting the top coat on? Because we want to seal the napkin. We want to protect it. And then we also are sealing it because we want to do more stuff to it. We want to do some pin work. We don't want the napkin to try to absorb the things we want to do on top of it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right. We're done with that step. I'm going to move my little Mod Podge dish out of the way, and we're going to come back to this canvas. Now this canvas is still, it's still drying. I can speed that along. I also just turned my glue gun on to make sure it gets plenty good and hot. Okay, I think I'm going to let this just dry a little bit more on its own. And let's work on our wooden pieces. Okay, so let's work on our wooden pieces next. So you have two cute little wooden tags here. You have your printout. This is like a printable, but we printed it for you. We printed it on white cardstock. So you have a paper tag for So Loved and So Lucky. And then we have all of these little mini wooden hearts. These little mini wooden hearts, you guys, are like they're like wooden confetti. And they're just so, so cute. So let's get all of these laid out here. And I'm going to go to this view for a minute. Okay, so that way I can see you. We can chat while we're working on these. Let's go in a little further. There we go. Okay, so here we go. This is, like I said, we printed this out for you. So you're going to have this. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come cut these out. I'm just going to cut right along the edge and cut these out. They are not supposed to be the same size as the wood tag. That is on purpose. And I'll show you why here in just a second. So just going to cut that out. You don't have to worry about the little hole. You can just leave that. You don't have to cut that out or punch it. Okay. Okay, let's cut this one out. Simple cuts. It's not hard. I left a little white on this one. Let me cut that one down just a bit more. There we go. All right. So I want you to see they are not going to fit exactly on the wood. Okay. They're not going to fit exactly on the wood. You're just cutting them right along the line. That is intentional. That is intentional. And then watch what we're going to do here. I'm going to grab my gold Krylon pin. Okay. Now this is where I want you to realize that you could use a gold Krylon pin. You could use, if you have a gold metallic paint marker, you could use that. If you have gold metallic paint and you want to paint these out, you could do that as well. Okay. So this is what I want to do. Can you guys see this? Okay. All right. I don't have to do this whole entire thing. And let me grab a little scrap piece of paper here. All right. So this Krylon pin, it loads like a paint pen. So you're going to just hold it down, shake it, hear it. There's like a little ball bearing in there, and you're going to hold it down, and that's going to load the paint kind of onto the nib of the pen. Okay, that's going to hold it just kind of right on the nib of the pen. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come around the edges of this tag, and I'm just going to make them gold. You don't have to do the back of the tag. And every so often, if you feel like you need to reload, just press down again. Okay. And like I said, if you're using paint, you could just paint this. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do this one because we're doing the same thing on both of these. I thought that using similar techniques would be great for this because you're not going to have both of these canvases out on display at the same time. One will be out in February, one will be out in March. So I thought it might make this a little easier for you. Okay, so now that we've done the edges, I think everybody can see that. See the edges in there? I'm going to load up my pen again here, my marker. And I'm going to start kind of just painting a little bit of this. I don't have to paint the whole thing, because we're going to add that other tag on here. Okay, so I'm going to come down the edges a little bit, probably like two widths, I guess. If you're painting, you might as well just paint the whole thing. Okay, and it's going to wind up being really pretty in gold. I mean, like gorgeous gold. These Krylon pens actually are 18 karat gold. They have 18 karat gold in them. So they are just especially beautiful. So again, a couple lines. We don't have to use it all, or we don't have to cover up everything. And as it dries, it's going to just kind of all blend together. So you don't really have to worry about like it being, too streaky or anything like that. So I'm going to come down a little bit past the hole on the tag. Okay. And again, as it dries, I mean, it's going to be this gorgeous gold. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous gold. Now, while that's kind of drying over here, I'm going to do the same thing to these little hearts. Okay. Same thing to these little hearts. Let's make sure our paint pen is loaded up. These go really, really fast because, and I'm going to show you a little trick. I want to show you a little trick here. Let me grab something out of my stash. Anytime you're painting little bitty tiny things like this, it's nice sometimes to use a double-sided tape. I like score tape. I use this a lot on paper crafting projects, anything I'm adding ribbon to, something like that. So if you have any double-sided tape in your stash, regardless what the brand is, if you'll just put out a strip of double-sided tape, and if you'll just lay these little things on top of the tape, and honestly, these hearts could actually go, let me make sure. I think I'm just going to do them kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. Then you don't have to hold them with your fingers. You don't have to touch them as they dry. When you get ready to dry them, if you're using a heat tool, they don't blow all over the place. So it's just a great little technique for, when you have bitty, bitty pieces like this. And you guys, you're going to have 20 of these hearts. I think it's 20 of these little hearts. I have to put out just a little bit more tape. Really easy little tip if you're tired of things kind of, tired of things kind of blowing away on you, or tired of getting your fingers all messy. Let's see if I can get this one off. Helps if you have fingernails. Oh, come on. Here, I'll use a pen. I don't have long fingernails to get this started. There we go. So if that's hard for you, use a pen. All right, and now all of these are down, right? Super, super simple and easy. So now I'm going to load my paint pen, and literally it's just swiping over the top. I'm not doing the sides. And so just coming in very quickly. Look how quick that is. I don't have to touch anything. And I'm just swiping right over them. I want them to be this beautiful gold. We're going to use some on both canvases. That's why you have so many. We need to reload. Just go back. So anytime you're painting small things, that double-sided tape will become really in handy. All right, see how fast that was? Super, super fast. And then again, this is what I love. When I dry them, they don't blow away, okay? Leslie, I don't have any text reminder service. I don't have a text reminder, but I will tell you guys that every Friday at 11, I have a craft and chat. Every Friday at 11. If for some reason, I'll let you know if something changes, but every Friday at 11, I have a craft and chat. You can go back over these. This actually dries really quickly. So now we're good to go, and they didn't go flying everywhere. So I just think that's such a helpful tip. Okay, so before we do anything with these, we're going to go ahead and let's go back to our tags here. So on the paper tags, all right, on the paper tags, I'm going to do a little bit of pen work. Okay, so if you have a, you can use a black journaling pen. I like to use my Pitt pens. Okay, I like to use Pitt pens for this. Sorry, I'm looking for the medium one. There it is. Okay, so I like to use Pitt pens. These are by Faber-Castell, and the set that we sell has a set of 4. Okay, has a brush tip, an extra small, small, and a medium nib. So that's the size of the nib at the top. And the reason I like these is because these pens are made for mixed media. What does that mean? That just means they play nicely with other mediums. That means you can draw over dry Mod Podge like we're going to do. You can draw over paint. You can draw over gelatos or watercolor. That's why I use these. These pens cross over into every part of my crafting, every single one. Because here's the thing. I don't want to have a good set of pens for each type of craft that I do, because y'all know I'm a creative enthusiast. I have my hands in lots of different types of crafting. Right? So I love these. They're made with India ink, and India ink is great again because it plays so nicely with other mediums. It is kind of made to where it lays on top, and when it dries, it's steadfast. And what that means is it won't react with water again. So I love it for that reason too, because if I want to use these pens on a Bible journaling page and I want a watercolor on top of it, I don't have to worry. If I want to use these pens on my canvases that have napkin art, or even paper crafting items, right? If I want to use my pens on paper crafts, I can do that. And if I want to go back and add stickles, which is what we're going to do on these, then I can do that and not have to worry that my ink is going to smear or bleed. Okay. Yes, they're by Faber-Castell and they are fabulous. Pitt pens, P-I-T-T, Pitt pens. And if Cheryl hasn't already, she can post a link to the set that's my favorite. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now for this next step, I'm going to actually attach these to these. Okay, I'm going to attach the paper tag to the wooden tag. Now there's different ways you could do that. If you have just a regular craft glue, you can use a craft glue. If you even want to use hot glue, you can use hot glue. I think I'm going to use hot glue today just because I already have it on and it's ready to go. If you wanted to use like a quick dry tacky glue, I use that a lot on my paper crafting projects. If you even want to use your Mod Podge, you can. Just don't Mod Podge over the top. We're not going to do any Mod Podge over the top. We're going to just attach these. So I'm just going to run a little bead of hot glue around the edges and a little squiggle in the middle. I use a glue gun that has a precision tip. And then this is going to just get put right here onto the tag. So I want you to see that there's gold showing all the way around it. And you're going to have some extra gold up here. We're going to put a gold heart up here in a minute. Okay. So after we get this on, we're going to do our pin work and our stickles so that can be drying while we go back to work on our canvases. So very, very little glue. It takes very, very little. And we're just kind of lining it all up. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of my gold hearts. I'll take the 2 that are on this little strip of tape. Toss that tape. Okay, now these are going to go where this white, this is kind of like your spot where you're going to add a little drop of hot glue where that white, where normally you would punch out that hole. And I'm going to add my heart right on top of it. Okay, so there goes one heart. And here goes this heart. And I like it because it looks like the heart is kind of what's attaching the tag. Like it's just cute. This is why I didn't do the outside edges of the tag. I'm sorry, of the hearts, because I like them having kind of that dark look on the sides. I just did the top. So look how cute that is. Isn't that darling? Super, super, super cute. All right, I'm gonna bring my camera down here just a little bit. So I'm gonna actually use my pit pin now to go around. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of outline this tag. I'm using the medium tip right now. And when this is just kind of doodle tracing. We're just kind of adding a little interest here. And whenever your pin lifts up, I just usually skip a little space. Okay, I don't try to connect everything. They're just like little broken lines. So just skip a little space when your hand naturally lifts up. And I'm going to outline that part of the tag. Just the inner part. Don't worry about the outside edge. Let me put this where you can see this one. Just going to kind of embolden it. Just means I'm going back and forth over it. Just going to fancy these tags up a bit. Okay, so there's that part. Now I'm going to use the small pit pin to actually go around the letters. Okay, so the small pit pin to go around the letters. And why? Because the letters are smaller. They need more of a delicate look. But this is going to help them to stand out. And it's okay if you don't get it right exactly where it needs to be. I don't know why that's a little blurry, you guys. I'm sorry. And I'm using my pit pin because I'm going to stickle over these. I want these words and the edge. So basically everything you see in red here, I'm going to add stickles to make it sparkle. So loved. Yeah, that's definitely, let me do something to this real quick to make this not so. Is that any better? It's a little better. I think it looks blurry because of all the dots. Okay, so same thing here, right? Just gonna go around. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself on this. If it's wiggly, it's okay. It's a cute font. It's just gonna look kind of artsy and doodly. It does not have to be perfect, but it's gonna help your words stand out, especially when we add the stickles. And that's what we're gonna add next. Thank you guys for your orders. I see a couple of them coming over. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Let me switch this back over. I like it on this side better. Okay, here we go. So this is where I'm going to add the stickles, right? This is the stickles. Stickles is like a glitter glue, and I love it because it's got really pretty sparkle to it. So I'm going to take I'm just going to use the tip that's already here. I'm using the color that's called Crystal, and I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit, and I'm using the tip to kind of color. Sorry, the camera's shaking. So I'm just kind of spreading the color. I'm going to do it around, and I'm also going to do it inside of my letters. Just use that little fine tip to help you. And I'm going to add it in the letters. And this is going to be so pretty and sparkly. So now not only do we have the gold, we have that pretty kind of metallic gold. Now we have this beautiful sparkle. So anywhere that's red, that's where we're going to add our stickles. Let me show it to you over here. Right? Cute, right? Can you see that it's stickly? Sometimes it's hard for things to show up. It'll actually be more sparkly when it dries. Okay. Same thing over here. Anything that's green. Anything that's green. Let's go ahead and do the inside part so I don't drag my hand over it. Love having this little fine tip. It just makes it so easy to outline things and to color things in. And then we're going to set these aside to dry. And we're going to go back to our canvases. So cute. Right? See all the sparkle? So adorable. Really, really cute. Okay, so now these tags are done. Our hearts are all painted. We're going to let these dry. Okay, I'm going to go back to my other screen. I love adding sparkle to things. It's just, it's just so pretty. And I'm still going to attempt. Yeah, that definitely is blurry. So I'm going to try to fix this. That's really annoying me. So if it's annoying me, I'm sure it's annoying someone else. I just have to get rid of some of these screens. All right, now we should be able to get a better image here. Much better. Much better. Okay. There we go. Just so you can see these now, I think you can see them much better. See all that pretty sparkle? So pretty. And even it's sparkly in the words too. It'll, as it dries, it's going to become even more sparkly. Isn't that pretty? Just love that. I love that. I love that. All right, let's go back to our other screen. Thank you for your patience. I didn't want that to be so blurry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take all my hearts off. See how they just kind of come off in a row like that? You can just take them right off of the tape. Because we're going to start, we're going to do some pin work on our canvases now and add our beautiful hearts and stickles and all that fun stuff. Actually, we'll probably add the stickles after we do the bow and everything. I usually add that at the very end. Otherwise, I somehow manage to get my hands into it and make a mess. Much better. Thank you. Sorry about that. Sometimes it can just go out of focus when I move it around. All right, there's all of our little hearts. Let's turn this. Okay. So I'm going to put my lid on my stickles. We'll come back to that here in just a minute. And let's go to the heart canvas. This is nice and dry now. If you're unsure, you can always just pop it again with your heat tool just to be sure everything is good to go. And I'm going to be using my black, again, my black pit pen. I'm going to use the medium tip. And all of the hearts here, I just think these hearts are so cute. So the bigger hearts are going to get some black details. Okay. So I'm going to use my medium because it's a little bit thicker, right? And then in these hearts, there are these little bitty kind of stroke marks. See those little stroke marks? I'm just going to follow the napkin's lead. And I'm going to follow and do what's on the napkin. Okay, I don't have to figure this out for myself. It's actually on the napkin. Okay, so I'm going to add that. Now there's another one right over here, kind of the same way. And if these go over the side of the canvas, then I just kind of turn the canvas a little bit and I'll do my pin work over there as well, because you're going to see from the sides. Again, I'm going to follow the lines that are on the heart itself, and that just makes it real easy. There's another little line right there. Okay, here's another red one. Now this red one's overlapped by a pink one, so I'm not going to put a line there because that will be this pink heart. But I am going to go ahead and follow the lines here. Okay, everybody got that part? All right, we've got a couple other bigger hearts here, this pink one. So the bigger hearts are getting the medium pin, and this is just personal preference. You can change this up if you want. This one has kind of like wavy lines in it. So again, I'm just going to kind of follow the napkin. Just follow the lines on the napkin. Okay, they've already figured that part out for you. You don't have to worry about it. Let's go ahead and do this one. I'm just kind of hand picking certain ones to do this bigger tip that doesn't have anything on it. Let's do this one. And then the other hearts, I'm going to move to the small tip. Now I do have this heart over here. Again, we're going to be able to see this from the side. So we're going to go ahead and again, just follow the napkin. As we go around. I'll do this one too. Now this is kind of a fun, whimsical napkin, so I don't want anybody worried. If you feel like your hands are shaky or anything like that, this can be just kind of fun, artsy, doodly. I don't want you to worry. Okay. I don't want you to worry. All right. So the small is just a smaller nib. That's the difference. So I'm going to use the small nib on all of these other hearts. I love pen work. I love that it adds kind of a handmade touch to our napkin art. I love that it just kind of helps everything to pop. I don't know. I'm just big on doing pin work. Now, some of you may not want to do this much. I didn't do any pin work on the leaves, just the hearts. And again, if they go down over the edge or over the side, we're just going to continue our pin work over here. Oop, there's a little teeny heart right there. It doesn't have to be exactly lined up. Now, there are a couple of these that look more like flowers than hearts. So I want to show you what I did on these. Let me get these other hearts finished up here. I don't try to keep everything really well lined up. I kind of like it just looking very hand-drawn, very kind of doodly. Another little tiny baby heart right there. Okay, so let me show you this little guy right down here. Do you see this little guy right here? What I decided to do on these, I've got stuff on my finger. I've got Mod Podge on my fingers. Is I decided to make one side of it a heart, and then the other side just kind of a petal. So it looks maybe like there's a heart behind it. Okay, there's another one here. So let's make one heart full, like a full heart. And then just go around the other petal. There's just a tiny heart there. Okay, that's how I decided to handle those. So now all of our pin work is done on these. I didn't do any pin work to the leaves or anything like that. So let's go over to the shamrock real quick. And the shamrock is pretty bold. It's pretty bold already. You're not going to need to do as much pin work on these. And it's up to you how many of these you want to do. So I'm going back to the medium pin on this one. Okay, I'm going to go back to the medium pin on this one. Now make sure if you're using a pin from your stash, make sure that it's going to be waterproof or steadfast once it's dry, because we are going to add stickles. And if it's not, when the stickles go on, it could cause the ink to bleed and run. So I'm simply just doing a little black line around some of these. This doesn't have to be all of them. It's got such rich color. I just didn't feel like it needed to be on everything. So I'll do kind of some of these bigger ones, even though this one's going to get covered up a lot. But I already started it, so I need to finish it. Same thing over here. Anything goes over the side. So I'm kind of staying inside the green. Trying to anyway. Okay, now let's come down to some of these. Some of these down here are really cute because they've got like little decoration on them. Like this one has this kind of zigzag look. So I just, again, just followed the napkin and I just added some pin work over the zigzag. I thought that that was really cute. I didn't do anything in the center. Let's do this one. This one's got some cute stuff. Some of these are going to get gold hearts. So let's go ahead and do this one. I think this one gets gold hearts, so some of this might get covered up. And again, just squiggle, squiggle, squiggle in the middle. So I'm going to just kind of leave this up to you, how many of these you want to do. Some of you out there might want to do all of them, you know. You do as many as you want. It actually goes pretty fast. All right, I think that's probably enough. Go ahead and do this one. Okay, let's stop. I think you get the gist. Okay, I'm going to stay with this one real quick first, and we're going to go ahead and glue some of the hearts on. Okay, so I'm going to take the hearts on the shamrock canvas, and I'm going to make them into like little shamrocks themselves. Okay, so do you see kind of what's happening here? I'm going to kind of have them all kind of point to each other in the center. Now, if it's helpful to you, go ahead and lay your tag out. It is going to come up because we're going to, oops, there we go. It is going to come up because we're going to have a bow up here. I'm not going to attach it yet. I'm just going to kind of have it laying there as I put these down. And I just did this with hot glue. And watch what I did. I just kind of did a line and another line across, almost like a plus sign. And then it was just really easy to come in and lay all of these down into that little plus sign of glue, because I have that little precision tip on my glue gun, which I love. All right, so there we go. Isn't that cute? I just think that's so cute. All right, let's do one over here too. This is kind of our top area here. Well, I don't know. Actually, let's think about this. Where do we want these to be? Do we want to do maybe this one? Let's spread these out. Yeah, let's do this one here. They're not going to be on every single. So again, just little lines. They're not going to be on every single shamrock. And depending on how you put your napkin on, that will help you figure out, you know, kind of which ones you want to have on here. Oops, I got a little piece of something right there. Let's see what that is. Oh, it's a little piece of the tape. Let's get that off. Okay. So there's that one. I could put one kind of right here and right here. You know what I mean? Like we have to kind of decide, where do we want these to go? I don't know. Maybe I want them on all the bigger ones, the ones that are blooming at the top. I don't know. What do y'all think? Right? They don't have to be everywhere. It's almost like these are kind of the babies and they're blooming up. Let's go ahead and put it on this one. You get to decide, but basically just remember we need some hearts for the other canvas. So let's start with these three. Then we'll go to the Valentine canvas, and we'll see how many we use over there. And then we can come back and maybe add some more. Okay, so I think you get the gist of that, right? Everybody see that? Okay, I think you get the gist of that. Let's go to this one. All right, let's see how many hearts I have left. You're going to get 20, which is quite a bit. And again, this is going to kind of come over here. All right, so here is what I did on my other canvas. I decided the ones that kind of had the red right here, I was going to put their gold heart kind of at the top. So if it was a red heart with the lines, I did those at the top. Okay. And then I did some of these in the middle. So like this one, it's pink, but I chose to put this one in the middle. And I'm going to put this one in the middle. So these are more scattered. They're not like clustered together like the clovers, like the shamrocks. Let's put one here. So I'm just kind of putting them all over. Put one down here. So they're just little gold hearts wherever you want them to be. And that leaves me one more here. So do I want to put it here? Do I want to put it over here on the shamrock? I could put that one. That one seems too close together. I kind of like this balance. I think I'm going to stick with this balance right here for these. That gives me one extra. So I could just stick looking. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to have one extra on this one. I'm going to put it right here just because I have it. You can put them wherever you want. Okay, ladies, I mean, you could put them wherever you want to. All right. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. Okay, what we're going to do next is go ahead and do the bows for them. All right. So let's spread this back out a little bit so that you can really see. So again, just put the tags kind of to the side. And you're going to get out what's in your fibers. Okay. All righty. I placed it before you could type it. We must have, our minds must be alike. All right. I'm going to move these two just kind of over here so we have some room. I will tell you that this gold tulle is glittery. It is glittery, and you're going to have two pieces in your kit. We're going to make two bows. You're going to have two pieces. So separate it so that you have two piles, right, of this tulle. One of them, the So Lucky, is going to have black and white twine. And there will be two pieces, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So Loved is going to have red and white twine. Okay, so that's how you're going to separate your bag. Now, there is going to be a really short piece of twine. The shortest piece of twine, I want you to put out of the way. Okay, that's going to be for our hanger. So the shortest piece, which is 11 inches, by the way, the short 11-inch piece, I want you to put out of the way. We're going to use that for our hanger. It's cut specifically to the size that we're going to need it to be. Okay. So let's make a bow. This is going to be super, super simple. Tulle is so fun and easy to make bows with. So we're not actually going to knot this at all. We're going to cross these tails. I know it looks kind of funny with tulle, but we're going to make kind of this shape that looks, again, like a tribute ribbon. See how I have a big loop up here? And I've crisscrossed the tails. Then I'm going to bring the loop down. Let me kind of squish this together a little bit better for you. Okay, I'm going to kind of squish it together. So here's the tails. It crosses over. I'm going to take my fingers at the top here, and I'm going to bring that to the middle. And we wind up with this really cute bow. Okay, this really cute bow. I like to use a clothespin to help me out with bow making. So I'm going to put this clothespin right in the middle of all of this. Now it's going to shed a little bit of glitter. Okay, it's going to shed a little bit of glitter, just letting you know that up front. Okay, so I have this. This is kind of holding it together. I'm going to take the black and white twine and I'm going to tie it off in the middle. So we're not actually making a knot. I'm not going to tie it completely secure until I move my clothespin because I want to make sure that this is centered. And then boom, I'm going to tie it off in a nice tight double knot. We're going to do one more knot. Okay, and we're going to get this super cute bow. Everybody see that? I know it's a little translucent. It's a little bit of glitter. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right, let's do it again. This one's going to go on Lucky. This one's going to go on Loved. So let's do it again here. Short pieces. Your 11-inch piece of twine is for the hanger. Okay, so let's just stretch this out. This might actually be easier. Let's stretch this out. Do you see how I'm kind of have it stretched, just kind of gathered together in my hand and stretched out? I'm going to cross over the bottom. These are the tails. Okay, these are the tails of the bow. And then I'm going to come up here and grab the top part right here. And then just push this behind where we've gathered everything. Okay, and again, we wind up with a pretty bow. Let's use the clothespin. That's like my best friend, that little clothespin when it comes to bow making. And my husband's so glad because I don't have to ask him to help hold things while I tie them anymore. All right, we just want to make sure this is centered. Somewhat centered, I should say. I don't know if anything I ever do is actually centered. Okay, tied off in a double knot. And now we have, again, this gorgeous tulle bow. Okay, this really pretty tulle bow. All right, now while we're at it up here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the bow upside down. Okay, turning the bow upside down. Take the tails to the back like this, and then we're going to tie another bow. And if this is going to be a regular bow, just like if you were tying your shoes, and if you tie bows like this to your bigger bows while they're or whatever surface you're using, you know, while they're upside down, the tails will always go down. I don't know why. So again, this bow is upside down. I have the tails of the twine right here. And I'm just going to tie this just like I was tying my shoes. Okay. And for whatever reason, it just works out. And the tails just go down real naturally. Okay. Just real naturally. All right. Let's go ahead and put this one on. It is going to be a little glittery. Okay. I'm going to actually do kind of a line of glue. I'm going to put some glue here in the center and then just a little line kind of going out a little ways. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see that on camera. I'm actually waiting a second. Why do you think I'm waiting a second? Because the hot glue can be hot, and this tool it's not like putting on ribbon. I have the tails in my hands and the bottom loop and the kind of the bottom of the loop. And I'm going to just lay this into that line of glue. I want the tails in the glue. I want kind of the bottom part of the ribbon in the glue or tool in the glue. It's not really, I guess it's ribbon. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I like to let it sit there for a minute because then it's not so hot that I burn my fingers. It's going to be plenty sticky enough to grab the bow. It's not going to come off. But do you see how I have my tails up here? I don't have them coming down. I don't want them coming down because remember, I'm going to add that tag. So now I'm going to go ahead and tie a little knot in the end of my twine here. That way the twine won't unravel. It'll only unravel below the knot. Yay, we're almost done. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go to our lucky tag. Here's our lucky tag. I think it's dry enough now. Now, when we actually attach this, okay, let me go in a little bit. When we attach this, remember, it's not actually hanging. It's going to look like it's hanging. So it's going to come, I want you to kind of have the corner of it just kind of overlapping where that bow is. Okay, so it's going to look like it's hanging, but it's really not. And we're going to attach this with hot glue. You don't need hot glue at the top. You need it where it's going to touch the canvas. And it's going to hang at an angle. So you can take your hands kind of underneath it. Make sure that's pressed down. And voila. I just think it looks so adorable. So lucky. That's the name of this one. Right? So lucky. Let's zoom back out. Cute, right? So it's never really attached. You just visually, you think it's attached. Okay? Isn't it cute? I love the gold hearts on here. Now, all that's left to do to this one is to come in and apply stickles to whichever clovers you want. If you want some of these up here to have stickles, you're just going to come in and you're going to give stickles. You're going to take stickles over any of the clovers that you want. Okay, that is up to you. You could do all of them. You could do a few of them. I think it looks kind of good when you do some and not some, just because it, I don't know, just makes your canvas a little more unique, right? So we're going to come in and add those stickles wherever you want to add them. All right, as much as you want, wherever you want. And we don't have to worry that our ink is going to smear or bleed because we use pit pens. And pit pens are so unique, and they just work so well with other mediums. They're steadfast when they're dry. They will not react to water or moisture, like the moisture in these stickles. They won't react to that at all. Make sure and sparkle some that go around on the sides so that the sides look a little sparkly too. Okay? So lucky. Add your stickles, set it to the side, let it dry. We're going to talk about the hangers here in just a second. Let's go ahead and add this one on. All right, same thing. I'm going to put a little bit more in the middle and then just a little line coming out to the edge. And I'm going to wait a minute. Remember, I'm going to wait a minute. Not a whole minute. I'm just going to wait a second until this glue isn't so like, burn my skin hot. And I'm going to grab the tails of the bow and kind of the bottom part of the bow, the loop of the bow. And now I'm just going to lay it into the glue. Okay, you'll be able to press it down now because it's not so hot. And if you realize like you need to add in a little bit more, like I need to add a little more over here. And also, if you feel like your ribbon is too long, just cut it. Okay, cut it off. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit more up here because, again, I don't really want the tails hanging down. I want them kind of going out this way. And, of course, you can fuss with the bow. You'll be able to fuss with your bow and all of that. Let me get these tails hanging down. I'm going to put a little bit more over here and let it just sit there for a minute. And I want to get the bottom part of that loop in there. It's going to help it hold. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay, you guys with me? I hope you're still with me. I know. This is more like, this is an actual workshop. This isn't just, I'm actually showing you how to make the entire kit. Both canvases, which is great. So knots, I'm going to cut it a little below. I'm going to unravel the part that's beneath the knot. It kind of wants to stick into the tool. But if your tails aren't going where you want them to go, it's really okay. You can always come in and put a little drop of glue or something down, you know, wherever you need it. Okay, so now we're going to do this tag. And again, I kind of want it to look, I want it to kind of go over the top here, kind of where that bow is. At an angle. So cute. And yes, you'll get little specks of glitter from your tool on your canvas, and you can move those around however you want. Okay. Again, your final step, we're going to come in with stickles. Anything you want to be stickled, anything. I really like the sparkle. So you can use that tiny tip to do even the teeniest little hearts. And then, of course, you can come in and you can add it even on the largest hearts. If you prefer to use a paintbrush for this, you can just squeeze some out and use a paintbrush to spread it around. That's perfectly fine. But it's just going to be so cute. And then your tag kind of has a pinkish look to it. It's really not as much red. It's more pinkish, but it's okay because you have lots of, you have reds and bright pinks and light pinks. There's lots of various colors of hearts on here. And I just think it looks so cute. So you, again, can come in and you just sparkle anything you want to sparkle. So I love that we have the gold metallic accents. We have the sparkly accents. We have a wood accent. We have the tulle and the twine kind of for softness, all of those things. Now, if you're for using these on your display, and I'm going to pop this up on the stage again here just real quickly. Let's see if I can get it to, hang on, let me do this a different way. How do I get it back up there? Hang on, present. Oh, stop screen. Okay, share screen. I have to talk it out. Sorry. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you is, again, this is actually, these canvases are made to go on our seasonal home display. So you have to have a way to hang them on there. That's what your 11-inch pieces of twine are for. So when you get ready to add the twine on here, twine is going to take the glue very, very well. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But those of you, if you've never started the seasonal home display, here it is. You can actually order it as a full set. And then once you have your house, when we later, our next set of canvases will be Easter and spring. So you'll have one specifically for Easter and then one that's more general spring. You'll already have the house, and then you can just order just the canvas sets only. So we do sell it twice, basically two ways. I shouldn't say twice. We sell it two ways. And so those two ways are basically, you can get just the canvas sets alone, or you can get the house with the canvas set if you're just starting this series. Okay. And then we make beautiful sets for the holidays and for the seasons. And we'll be doing those throughout this year. Okay. So let's go back to this. We have our little 11-inch piece of twine. I'm going to put kind of a little blob of glue right here on these corners. Okay. So I'm going to take this is my lucky. So I'm going to take the black twine and I'm just going to pop it right into there. And you can come down about an inch. We've kind of measured this out for an inch. Wait a minute. Just wait a second for the glue to not be so hot, and then you can kind of press it down into the glue. If you want it to be more secure, you could always add a staple behind it, or you could glue a little, maybe a little piece of white cardstock over this, or white felt over this, something like that if you wanted to. And now we have our hanger. It's just that simple. We have our hanger so that this can be hung on the canvas. I'm doing this really carefully because they're still wet. And yeah, they're going to hang beautifully, just the right height on there. So you can come down about an inch and about an inch. These are cut at 11 inches. And again, I'm going to wait just a second before I really push them down into the glue, okay? Because I don't want you burning the fire out of your fingers. And then you can just come in and kind of push that down, and feel free to cover it over these if you want to. All right. And now we have our really cute So Loved canvas. I love these. They're so much fun to make. It's just an easy, fun thing to do. And then we're already ready. Go ahead and make them at the same time, because then you're already ready for St. Patrick's, right? So that way, because they're so similar, the techniques on them are so similar, I would go ahead and just make them both. And then you're right ready to go. You're ready to go. You're ready for both holidays, both seasons, or both holidays, both times, I should say. And then because Easter falls March 31st this year, we're going to be releasing our Easter and our spring a little earlier than we normally would. So that way you can, when you're ready to put up the Easter one, you can. And then you'll have a general spring canvas that you can put up as well if you want to take down Easter after so much time, after April or something. My Easter usually stays up for a while, and then I'll take it down. Yes. Yeah, aren't they fun? They really, really are fun. So I want to encourage you again, especially those of you, if you've never tried any kind of napkin art, this is a great kit to give you a taste. This is a great kit to give you a taste. You're going to have quite a bit of napkin bits and pieces left over. So I don't know, maybe I'll do something with these and show them on another craft and chat. I'm not sure, but you're going to have plenty left over to maybe create some other things with those.